Buckley versus Usman. This is a great fight. And I'm gonna say right off the bat, I got Buckley winning this fight, which pains me to say because Usman is one of my favorite fighters, especially him being African. But I have to call it how I see it. Buckley's gonna win this fight. The reason I say this is because Buckley has multiple intangibles. For example, what do I mean by that? For example, when McGregor was coming up, he wasn't training at a super camp. It was him at SBG with John Kavanagh. They had a strong bond, and they're just working, chasing their dream. Buckley has that same type of McGregor feel around him right now. And a lot of people don't realize it. When you go to Buckley and you see him on Instagram or wherever, he's constantly training, constantly motivated, constantly focused. He is a very dangerous fighter, and he's continuously done things that we haven't expected him to do from his entire career. So him starting out with the 360 spin kick knockout highlight reel over Impa Kasanganai, who went on to become a PFL champion multiple times. Super impressive win. In hindsight, Buckley, he's also had, when he lost to Kevin Holland, he came back and just became a beast. The reason I'm choosing him is because I know, he's from St. Louis, right? He's motivated. He's driven. I'm from St. Louis. I know what it's like. He's so close to the title, and the energy he's putting out, the focus he has, the determination he has, he has all the makings of a champion. And what really stands out to me is his team. He's not working at a super camp. I couldn't name his coach. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the guys he's training with, but these guys are focused and they're dedicated to Buckley. And they're chasing the dream the same way McGregor and John Kavanagh were chasing the dream to just become great. That's what Buckley has around him right now. And Usman, on the other hand, we know who he is. He's an incredible fighter, right? He's the best welterweight of all time. But everybody has their time. And Usman, why is he coming back right now? Is it because he just wants to get the belt back? Let's say he gets the belt back. How long can that even last at this point at 38 years old? He could go for a while, but from what I understand, he has bad knees. He has a lot of injuries. He had the title run. He had the belt for the longest. And historically, we've seen guys lose the belt when they had the reign, and they were never able to really, truly recapture that greatness. We've seen it multiple times with Jose Aldo. We've seen it with Israel Adesanya more recently. We've seen this before. So that's why I'm choosing Buckley to win. And I love Usman, truly, but I got to be real with it. Usman, a big thing in fighting is your reasons why. Usman's made the millions. He's been there. He's done that. Why is he coming back right now? Is he just doing it to make money? Is he doing it just because he loves it? He's having fun? Is he doing it because he wants to win the belt? On the other hand, I could tell you why Buckley is doing it. Buckley is doing it because he really, really wants to become that champion. He's hungry. He wants to become that champion. He wants to change his life. He wants to change his family's life. He wants to take care of his grandma. Every day he's waking up with that fire burning inside of him, and he's going to the gym, and you can see it the same way McGregor had it back in 2010, 2011, 2012. The same exact way McGregor had that fire in him, and everything he talked about was motivational and inspirational, and he was just extremely focused. He has that same feel around him right now. And Buckley, he's had some big wins. He pieced up Wonder Boy. No one really expected him to go out there and do what he did to Wonder Boy. He just gets these wins and over guys who were, seemingly more skilled than him on paper, but he just finds a way to win. And that's where him being a dog and him just having the intangibles, that's where that comes into play. He has something that you can't really explain. You know what I'm saying? And there's two guys who really have this right now. Michael Morales and Joaquin Buckley. That fight would be a crazy fight. Now, both of those guys probably will become a champion at some point. I think Michael Morales will be the guy who will be the guy to beat Usman's record. I think Buckley could beat Jack Della Magdalena. I think Buckley would beat Ian Gary. And I think Michael Morales would beat Buckley. I believe Buckley will beat Usman, and it will probably be a very shocking win. You know, it'll probably be a very shocking win. I think Buckley's not going to win by decision. I think he's going to go in there and really, you know, the same way he did the Wonder Boy, the unpredictability, the chaotic style that he has. I think he's going to go in there and find the opening and find it on Usman. You know, that's what I really think is going to happen. I think Buckley is just a big dark horse for the whole division that people really haven't been paying attention to as much. You know, he's a real savage. He's a real beast. He really is. And when we look into his record a little bit more, you know, some of his wins, Alex Morono, who was on a win streak at the time, Andre Filaho, good fighter, Vicente Luque, great fighter. He finished him. You know, Nusser Rodabov, whatever. I'm not gonna even say his name. In St. Louis, I believe, or no, did he have that fight in St. Louis? I believe he had that fight in St. Louis, and he dominated him. Stephen Thompson, he finished him. You know, Kobe Covington. These are big wins. These are major wins. You know, and to be honest, Buckley has the best resume out of all of the welterweights right now. He has a better resume than Jack Della Magdalena. He has a better resume than Michael Morales. He has a better resume than everybody. You know, Usman obviously has the best resume out of everybody, but out of all the contenders, Buckley has the best resume right now in the welterweight division. And he's just focused. You know, you can just see it. You know, you can really see it. So I got Buckley winning this fight. And I think he's going to dominate. Not dominate. I think it's going to be a battle. Like all his fights usually are battles. But I think ultimately he just has that dog in him. He has that Mr. T Rocky 3 vibe to him. You know, that Clubber Lang vibe to him. Well, he just wants it bad, you know, and he's just going to do whatever he has to do to get it and fight. And Kamaru Usman is 38 years old. Buckley, 31 years old. Kamaru Usman, 6 foot. Buckley, 5'8". They have a similar reach. You know, Kamaru Usman obviously has incredible wrestling. You know, Buckley, he's not known for his wrestling. He's known more so for striking and just kind of having a chaotic style, you know, where he's just able to win in these fights. He's just a fighter. You know, he's just a fighter's fighter. You know, he just goes out there, he just scraps, you know, that St. Louis mentality. And at this stage, you know, with Usman waking up with the silk sheets, millions of dollars, successful, long wrestling career, 2 bad knees, you know, a lot of things going on with that. You know, longest, you know, he beat GSP's record, you know, and now you're going in to fight a young, hungry dog in Buckley. You just came off of fighting a young, hungry dog in Khamzat, you know. Yeah, I just don't really see. Obviously, Usman can win, but I just don't really see where the inner drive, where is that coming from for Usman? Maybe there's things that we don't know that he's fighting for. Maybe there's something more that he's fighting for, you know. But right now, when I choose someone to win a fight, I really look at their reasonings, why they're fighting, because fighting is such a hard thing to do. You know, to get up every day and to go to the gym and get punched and to run the miles and to diet and to study. And, you know, there's just so much that goes into it. And ultimately, what separates fighters is what they have inside their heart. And what does that even mean, heart? Heart means your desire to win, you know, and the day-to-day grind creates that desire to win. And Buckley, we can go and see him and look through his feed, and we can see he truly has that desire. You know, he's focused, he's motivated, he's inspired, he's driven. Usman, same thing. He is driven, he is inspired, he is focused, but there's just a different energy around it. You know, so I'm going for Buckley. I think Buckley's going to win this fight. And I think Buckley will be the champion at some point. I think Buckley would beat Jack Della Magdalena, to be honest. I think Buckley's the only person other than Michael Morales who would beat Jack Della Magdalena. I think we're going to end up seeing Buckley versus Michael Morales for the belt at some point, you know. And yeah, Buckley versus Usman, Buckley for the win. Third round, TKO.